the reality is you can use these in so many ways to decorate. And another incredibly charming way that I love is to string them up, hang them from string, from like if you have a veranda or a terrace, so you can hang it from the ceiling and then just make a row of them. And so instead of having just plain lanterns, you have these illuminated little churches and houses, and they are really beautiful. You can put them in front of your house. You can put them in the windows of your house so people can see them. You can put them under a tree and make them part of a nativity if that's something you do. You can put them on the table as decorations for the Christmas dinner. You can put one or two individually in a room to give it that Christmas feeling without tacky ornaments that are made in China. These are all handmade, individually crafted in people's homes rather than by Chinese factory workers. This is really a beautiful thing to be able to have these ornaments that are not made in factories. So you can really display these in so many different ways, just depending. I really love this village, so if you can buy 4, 5, 6 of them and create this village, and the children love it, to have this kind of thing. And when I was a child, these lanterns were just something I look forward to every year. I cannot tell you how enchanted and enthralled I was, except to tell you that 30 years later, I'm trying to bring them to the world to discover. So clearly they made an impact on me.
Do these decorations look nice in broad daylight as well?
Well, they do look nice. They are pretty and colorful in their own right without the lights in them. So they are very pretty in the broad daylight. They can be used, but they're lanterns. So they are transformed at night. And of course, most of the decorations we have, you think of what people put outside, those lights look absolutely dreadful during the day when they're just hanging there, and they look gorgeous at night. With these, you have something that actually does look pretty in the broad daylight, but looks stunning, magical, creates a sense of wonder at night. And you can really, what's nice is in broad daylight, you can really see how handcrafted they are. These are not things that are punched out on a machine in a factory. You can see how the artists use their hands to make them. There's little imperfections in them that make them so charming. And when you put them together, which we can all do incredibly and with a great deal of pride when they're finally done, you may have some imperfections and they may be visible, but they just, the houses themselves look beautiful, so they will have an effect that is much more charming than your string lights or the plastic inflatable things that people put on their lawns. They do look very pretty in broad daylight, but even more so at night. So I'm just really glad that you could see these illuminated and in this kind of village setting. We've done some really fanciful things, and you can use your imagination. Now we've integrated things made in factories, so I'm not going to say that we were completely averse, but like these little lanterns that we got that have that sense of a gas light from the 19th century, we've included. You can buy these incredibly inexpensively at Michael's. Or I think we got these at a pharmacy. They were maybe $4 a piece. We have these little fake Christmas trees that are flocked and give that sense of snow to this Caribbean village. Bit of a paradox there, but nevertheless charming. And one of the cool things about using these trees is that you don't have to actually put that fake snow all over the place to give the sense that this is a snowy little village. And then we've added the snowman and these little fences and acorns and to give this sense of organic and the whimsy that children like with the snowman. We even have a little nutcracker you can see standing in front of the painted lady. I would love to show this to the people that own the house, and so they could see their house with this big nutcracker in front of it. And then we put these little gifts. These are also the types of things that you can get at a novelty store, at an art supply store like Michael's, or even at your pharmacy nowadays. And this is the kind of thing, though, that really just use your imagination and what you have in the house, because these are things that we added, but you can really let your imagination soar as you create this village. And that, again, is a very Haitian and Caribbean tradition, which is to get into creating these little village scenes. And again, like I said, you would use this in the Nativity, but many people create these types of things. My grandmother was famous for doing this. When she was alive, she was really a fanatic of the Nativity, and she would have these Christmas trees that had kind of boring ornaments, but the most spectacular sets under the tree. And I remember also my great aunt in Haiti, who had really beautiful nativities that were multi-tiered, 3 or 4 levels of different scenes that she would use with the little houses all illuminated, and then a pretty scrappy little tree up above it. But again, it was all about these colored, bright little houses that really look like stained glass. So there is something also, a sense of mystery that stained glass conveys, that you're bringing into the house. The stained glass that is from churches also gives you the sense of all those illuminated scenes from the Bible that are in these lanterns. So we look forward to seeing how people use the Illumaison lanterns in their own style, all over in churches and in people's homes and in displays at businesses.